The system of power, illusion, and control focuses everything, all of your attention, on relationships, on this idea of love, pushes lust and sex at the forefront. Sex through all of this gender ideology, lust through your movies and music, celebrities, love through your books, your romance novels, your romance movies. It pushes all of that. Not because it's relatable to you, not because it's a universal thing that everybody can relate to. Knowing that everything in this system is designed to control you, to control your idea of the past, your idea of the present, and your idea of the future. Your future generations are tied up into these mind controls. The reason why they push those perspectives, in contrast to the perspectives of love that we've shared.
Oshun is the wife of Ogu. Oshun, people usually translate it as love. And some of us get real stupid with the meanings of love. But let's go into Vadum and ask Vadum to explain to us what is love. Love is harmony in a multitude of things, to create harmony in a multitude of different things. Love is to have, I can hear you. The brother he's different from me. He has different height, he has different skin tone, he has different outfit. I'm not frightened by the fact that he doesn't look like me. I can deal with the brother. We can interact. We are different, and we're going to find the channel through which we can communicate. Because through organization, with courage, we're going to be able to deal with things and have a base of functioning. That's what love is. Love is not doobie-doobie-doo, I love you. That is word. That is nonsense. When somebody tells you, I love you, close your eyes and say, oh brother, if you're white, you have, those people have different kind of color eyes, they should close their eyes and say, what's the color of my eye? 3/4 of the time, the person who says that didn't even look at your face and don't know the color in your eyes. Okay? Ask the person say, I love you. Tell them, what do you know about me? What do you love about me? Tell me exactly. What specifically? Is it my height? Is it my skin tone? Is it my hair? What is it you like? Be precise, brother. Yes. You should ask. And you're going to find out the person can't say very much. They never really looked at you. They don't even you in the most superficial physical way. Now let's not get into your character. If they don't know what you look like, which their eyes is right on it, how are they going to know who you are? To love is to know many things and be able to harmonize all the differences.
The reason why they break it down, tear it down, shrivel it up into nothing, to make you think that's what this is about, is to control your future generations, your descendants, your relationship to that. Take that perspective away from you. Sever those ties that you have to your descendants. If they sever the ties that you have to your ancestors, sever the ties that you have to yourself, what makes you think they're not cutting those ties that you have to your future generations? No, they are doing that to the umpteenth degree, on purpose, by design. And this is how they're doing it. Taking your most cherished relationships and destroying them, ripping you away from your children with this idea of democracy, capitalism, go to work, the American dream, the public education system, mind control. It doesn't stop at putting your kids in school and putting you in a job. It's the dynamic. It's everything. Your organic, your natural relationship to your future generations has to be secondary to the mind control. At best.
No knowledge, no love possible. No knowledge, no love possible. Bello tells us we must develop, we must build good character. How do I know how to build my good character if I don't know who I am? I don't know what my weaknesses are. I don't know what my strengths are. If I don't know my weaknesses, I cannot know what my strengths are. Because I don't have the courage to speak the truth about myself to myself. I cannot know myself. And if I don't know myself, I cannot love myself. And if I don't love myself, can I love you? No way, Jose. I cannot love you.
And when you are consumed with lust, sex, romanticism, you are not capable of being in balance, of having a balanced relationship, of producing healthy, balanced offspring. It fuels narcissism. It makes everything all about you. If you do not care about your descendants, if you do not care about your ancestors, then that leaves only you. All you have to care about is yourself, which is exactly where the system wants you to be, because you are easily controllable, especially if you are disconnected from your ancestors and disconnected from your responsibility to your future generations.
We're not talking about that love in the mouth. We're talking about love, a powerful weapon, which is built on knowing, respecting others, having the courage to speak the truth, organizing. If you can't organize your life, what are you coming to do in my life? Could come and create chaos? No, thank you. I'm very happy in my little life, well organized, just as it is. If you're going to come, that's because I see your life is well organized too. In fact, I'm going to admire your organization first. Your structure first. Not your body, your structure in your life. I'm going to be mesmerized by your courage. And that's when there's going to be love between you and I. If I see no courage, I see no truth being spoken. I don't see you being able to give even an old lady a seat in a bus. You can't open the door for a pregnant woman. Why in the world would I put entrust my sentimental life into your hands? That is a no-no in Voodoo. You must go and build good character. When you have built good character, while I'm building good character, then the two of us will have a basis for doing something together.
To be consumed by someone else is of no benefit to you, the individual, and is of complete benefit to a controlling system, especially a controlling system that has its focus on your future generations. This is no different than genetically modifying your food, making all of your food seedless, making you seedless, designing your life, your livelihood around pulling you away from even the opportunity to reproduce. Too much work, too much stress, too many chemicals in your body. I just heard something just before I started this video talking about how pregnant women, 1 in 3 pregnant women who drank Diet Coke have a baby with autism.
Something shocking about like 1 out of 3 women who drank Diet Coke during pregnancy had an autistic kid.
Oh my God.
And they're now like putting this connection to Diet Coke and diet
Is that real?
Look at it, it just came up. Yeah, it was.
When was this?
This was like 2 weeks ago I read
Oh
this.
my God.
And that's scary because there is a lot more, I think, more autistic people or people in the spectrum than there used to be. Like, it seems like
Study finds link between drinking some diet soda during pregnancy and autism in boys. A team of researchers said they have observed a link between autism diagnosis in boys and their mothers drinking at least one diet soda daily or consuming the equivalent amount of the sweetener aspartame during pregnancy or while breastfeeding, according to new study. There's a difference between saying that something is dangerous and saying something is dangerous while someone's pregnant. Because like Elon was talking about, like how much Diet Coke he drinks. If that guy's drinking Diet Coke, I am not that worried.
right.
He seems pretty fucking smart.
These are not mistakes. Normalizing the LGBTQ mentality, pushing it, beyond normalizing it, pushing it in your school system, pushing it in the mainstream media, pushing it in the movies, with a focus on your children. Who focuses anything on somebody else's children? Why is that not addressed and seen as a weapon? Once again, this is because the belief that this system is benevolent is so deeply ingrained in that God bless America.
If that guy's drinking Diet Coke, I am not that worried.
The new world, the American dream, the saviors of the world, the Western hard chargers of human evolution, that mentality is the norm. It's like people who go to church and have no ability to hold their pastor or preacher or priest accountable for the sexual abuse that they're committing on these people's children. The authority by God is so strong that they will allow this. They will look the other way. In that system, they will promote these priests and cardinals and whoever else gets charged with these crimes. They will move them up in the ranks. And once again, when these children get abused, what happens? It affects them for life. A lot of them turn towards the LGBT community for support, being forced into a chaotic, mentally unstable mode, not knowing how to view themselves, forced into this mentality, forced into not even considering having children. Everything in this system is designed to attack you at that level, at the very least, all the way down to the emasculating of your superheroes, so-called black men, forced into dresses in the movies, on your mainstream media. Beyond even emasculating you, even killing you off, it's known that the first person who dies in a movie is a so-called black man. That's a running joke. How is that a joke? Why is that funny? Why is that a thing? Who's making this decision? Who has made this decision over a long period of time in so many different scenarios? And then constantly gaslighting you to think nothing is happening. Nothing, there's no race agenda here. Putting Black Lives Matter out there to be the face of minuscule movement towards understanding what's going on, far less than enough to do anything about it, but just enough to make you think that something is happening and know that it's being pushed by this system. It's not a mistake that everybody knows about George Soros' relationship to Black Lives Matter. They want you to know that. And even if you did know that, look, nobody cares. Nobody knows what to do with that information. But some people are meant to know about that information. And this is so-called white people. This is the opposite side of empowering them. To downplay you. They weaponize them to downplay you. Just as they weaponize them to come to this country. Free land. Free resources. We'll give you all the money with the Homestead Act and the head right system. We'll give you free land. Take it from the Native Americans. It's all yours. Just come over here and work for us as the white nation. You'll be protected here. The government will protect you. And still to this day, people say, you're on that white and black. No, I'm not. I didn't make this up. I didn't make people call themselves black. I didn't make people call themselves white, but somebody did. And if you don't deal with it, then you're going to be subject to it. Nobody out there is dealing with it. Nobody is giving a clear and concise layout about how deep these programs go. And the only thing you see is defensive white people getting butthurt, getting in their emotions, following the agenda that is pushed by this system to further gaslight us like nothing's going on. We're overreacting because there is no black and white. You're falling for some kind of secondary agenda. Weaponized. They don't even know it. Like some of these low-grade professional athletes, professional musicians, actors, low-grade, some people in the high grade, they know what the hell is going on. But the low, and even at the top, they're so dumb, they don't know how deep it goes. They know that they're doing some fucked up shit. But the low-grade actors, they're dumb and don't know what the hell is going on. So they're just going to do it because they're broke and they need to be paid and they need to maintain a particular look. So they will defend that system unknowingly because they're so dumb. Some of them because they were forced to, some of them they know, and they will still defend it. There is this identity of being the forward progress people of the so-called human family. We did this, we did that, we did this for you. We're not all bad. No, we're not saying that. We don't care about you individually who's not bad. And why are you acknowledging that there are bad people and bad systems out there? And instead of focusing your attention on them, you want to attack us? Why? To defend yourself. Fuck you. You want to defend yourself by downplaying what we are saying and deflecting from a greater system that's out there, a bigger system than both of us individually, especially. You have the nerve to sit up here and talk shit about the people who are exposing the system. A system. This is no different than what I was talking about with this Katt Williams shit. This is a mere image of what's happening there. Damn near 3 hours Katt Williams broke down, exposed so many things out there. He brought all these people to the surface and their corruption, talking about rape, sexual assault, demonic shit, satanic shit. He broke it down to a heavy degree. And for one example, he mentions plants in the industry with Kevin Hart. Instead of addressing whether or not there are plants or aren't plants in that industry, people focus on whether or not this one individual is a plant. And his response is only to defend himself. Nobody's talking about the fact that there are plants. So who planted them there? Talk about that and that intention. No, but people are so shallow, so lost, so ignorant to what's really going on here, so caught up in the back and forth, the social media version of the information, they're only interested in the information that is personal, cheap, not connected to a bigger storyline. That's why that stuff is out there right now. This system knows people are only going to get caught up in the romanticism of it. You love these people. You're going to trust these people. It's also bringing these people to the surface. This information that he's dropping is going to bring a lot of people down, but it's also going to bring some people up right on time, right during this political era where they need people in Hollywood to be trusted because people don't trust politicians anymore. So they're going to activate, like they did with so-called white people and Trump, they're going to activate the entertainer as a leader. They've already been doing it. They've been prepping people to do this with Obama, Michelle Obama's relationship with all these basketball players and actors and musicians, and it's all been prep work. And here we go again, back to love, back to lust. If these actors out there, if they were ugly, you wouldn't listen to them. Musician, their music would sound worse if they were ugly. You have to be truly exceptional. So they're tapping in to the coding, the natural coding, by promoting people who are completely untalented but have a particular look, because they know that that look is a weapon and it could be weaponized against you to sell information, to sell products, to sell ideas, to sell movements. This is how love, lust, sex is weaponized. So they sell these ideas through these faces, through these hourglass body shapes. You're listening to a tape recorder with an hourglass shape. That information sits a little deeper in your mind when it's projected by somebody like that. Why? Again, why? Control, power, not of today, not of tomorrow, no less than 7 generations. If we originally designed our entire existence around protecting the world, our people, the resources for the next 7 generations, then believe that the system has focused their attack on those generations, not just you right now. The lowest form, the lowest part of the information he's saying, the romanticizing, the individual part of it. They want to talk about that instead of the systems behind it. They don't want to talk about the network of pedophilia and sexual assault that's going on in the church, in the mainstream media, in Hollywood. They don't want to address that, even though he exposed that. But they're happy to address and defend themselves individually. And people are so lost that they will follow that. They will think, oh yeah, he's right. They will get caught up in that individual storyline at the expense of the bigger storyline. This is a mirror image of the race discussion. So-called white people are like so-called black people in reference to how so-called black people respond to information and celebrities. Their reaction to that being on the romanticizing the individual, the back and forth, the Maury Povich version of that information. In that same regard, as our people are attracted and so ignorant that we will respond on that level, white people are the same way in reference to race. Nobody here gives a shit about the individual actions. We're beyond that. We've lived our whole fucking lives having to deal with that shit. They project onto you. You have a problem. There is no racism out there. It's not about black and white anymore. We're all being no shit. We are saying that too. Are you fucking deaf? We've been saying that. We know everybody's being attacked right now. Stop making this all about you, you fucking egotistical piece of shit. It's not about you. I can make a whole video 3 hours long talking about the mind controls affecting the entire world. I say one thing about race and so-called white people in the system of racism and white supremacy, the science behind that, one fucking thing out of 3 hours, and you're going to have so-called white people, petty as hell, ignorant, butthurt, dismiss all that 3 hours of information and get so caught up in their feelings, so caught up in their emotions, they want to defend themselves individually at the expense of all the information that was just exposed, that in many ways unified all of us in these mind control programs. They don't want to see that. They only want to see what makes them the victim. You don't have to look hard to see how in many ways we have been victimized. But that's not our stance. We are not coming at it at that. So-called white people, when they want to project onto you, when you address racism, you're not even a part of this fucking discussion. We need to talk about this amongst ourselves. We need to understand racism with our people. You're not even in this fucking discussion yet. But since they are so full of this artificial authority and this sense of being in charge of the world and being the leaders of the free, all that shit, they're so self-entitled that even when you are working on yourself with your people, on the work that you have to do because it was projected onto you by their ancestors, even when you're doing that, they have to be injecting themselves into your world, into your consciousness, into your discussion, and you need to adjust to them. That's sick. For them to be so self-centered that you could be talking about something that's affecting your entire people and they will take it personally. That is the sickest fucking person out there. The most mind controlled, the most fucked in every angle. That's who those people are. Those are the inhibitors of forward progress. Are we inhibiting forward progress by bringing the science of racism, white supremacy to the surface so we can clear it out of our consciousness? Are we the problem? No, we didn't invent this shit. We are trying to invent a way to heal from this shit. And while we are healing from it, you have butthurt, ignorant, self-centered, egotistical, psychopathic, entitled so-called white people who can't stand for that. They won't allow it. As if they have some fucking authority in this situation. Get the fuck out of here. You never have, never will. Those people are like gnats flying around in the fucking room. Get the fuck out of here. So, the controlling of the narrative, controlling of the dialogue. The narrative is controlled by the system. The dialogue is controlled by the people who are affected by that system. So the bigger narrative is pushed out there. People are so ignorant. Even if they say some of the darkest shit, they expose some of the most dark, deep, abusive, beyond that. They can expose all that information and people will still only want the personal perspective of that information. It's too much for them to acknowledge that there's a bigger story. It's too easy for the individuals to focus on the individual story. You start addressing and talking about these bigger stories, they will literally look the other way. They can't look at it because it's like telling somebody to look in a mirror. You can't tell somebody to look at themselves. You can't tell somebody that they're the fucking problem. They've spent their whole lives convincing themselves they're not the problem. In every talk to themselves, in every relationship, in every interaction that they've had, both positive and negative, they've either been the superhero or the victim, never the villain. And that's how the narratives have been pushed with this particular group of people. They've been the superhero forever. That's how they put it on the poster boards. That's how they sold it to their people. That's how they sold it to the world. The superheroes of humanity. Join us in this venture of manifest destiny. We're going to grab the earth by the tits and we're going to thrust this human existence into the future. Bring your industrial revolution. We got free land. We're moving into technology. We're moving into transhumanism. We're going to fucking Mars. Round of applause. What pyramids? What civilizations? What science? What ancestors? Bitch, we just sent a sports car to Mars. What you got to say about that? Did you send a sports car to Mars? Did you send a sports... Did you send a sports car to Mars? No. Shut your mouth. Do what we say. Go along with the story. So, back to the original point of how this relates to sex, love, lust. When they have you programmed to love and lust over a particular look, a particular type of person, you trust them to a certain degree. Physiologically, you are programmed, you're coded to trust them. This is why you have so-called white women thrusted into your vision. All the blonde bombshells that they put in front of you. Why? Just because sex? No. This is largely political. They put white women in your face to control you. Control the information that you receive through your sex programming. And the white men are put and promoted in movies, industry, professional sports. They're the coaches. They're the leaders, the owners. That is part of your consciousness to control you. To make it seem like they are trustworthy in politics. So the controlling of the narrative dealing with love, relationships, sex, and lust is all about trust. Trust the people in control. Trust the movement, the direction that those powerful people are pushing. Trust it. And if I had to put money on it, they're going to use that as their next power move involving powerful people. People in powerful positions, more accurately, with this presidential election. They've done this before, weaponizing celebrities and musicians to sell you the idea to get a vaccine, to vote for some, get out, vote or die. Coincidentally, Puffy was involved in that shit. Vote or die. It's all one storyline. There's no separation between these communities out there. It's all one community. Like Katt referenced in that interview, what's the biggest job of people who sold their soul to the devil? It's to deny it. Act like nothing happened. What racism? You're caught up in that black and white dynamic. It's nothing but duality, man. You're on one step back. I thought you were better than this. Constantly using narcissistic tactics to control the dialogue, control the narrative, control how you look in front of other people, but also control how you look to them. Because the only way they can feel good about themselves is if they feel bad about you. That's how cheap some people are. It's fucking terrible, but it is a control measure that has been activated and weaponized and is alive and well in society. Just check the comment section. All they got is aliens and technology. Some of them lean on that. That's all they want. That's all they need. Give us aliens to promote this idea of outer space. Give us technology to promote this idea of pushing technology to be closer to higher dimensional beings like aliens who have already produced this technology. Make us look like them so we have something. But people who don't believe in that shit, who don't want that shit, they don't have anything. Only thing they have is themselves, which is ultimately what all of us have. But when you need that community, you have to protect it. See, we have our community, our culture naturally because it's in our lineage. We've protected our future generations. We've protected the earth. We've protected the resources. We have that relationship for generations upon generations. Do they have that? No, they have a history of destroying it for the benefit of themselves. This can't be denied. You can't look the other way. But back to it, knowing what we know about this situation, it's easy to see that many of these people are lost. We know our people are lost. Look at how the fuck they're interacting with this Katt Williams shit. He just exposed so much shit out there, and all they can talk about is the Maury Povich version of it. He talked about corruption in and throughout the entire system. The only fucking thing they want to talk about is you are not the oh shit. That's the only thing that's the only thing that they're capable of talking about by design. So back to the original part. Again, to close this out. The love, the lust, the sex. They are so in love with themselves and what they think they have done and their position in this human experience. They love it. They lust over it so much that if you try to let it go, if you heal yourself from the work that they've done at your expense, it's a threat to them. It's not a threat to me. I'm not threatened by you. They're going to go off again. It is. It's just triggered you. There's a reason behind that triggering. If our healing triggers you, you are not a friend. In fact, you are an enemy. But it's been programmed. The same way we can't let go of the system, we can't let go of that world because we've lusted over it so much. We've loved it for so long. The same way we can't do it. Our people. If we can't let it go, if we can't let those ideas go about how we see so-called white people, how we see this system, if we can't let it go, how hard do you think it is for so-called white people to let it go? How hard do you think it is for them to look at themselves? It's easy for us to look at that system. It's even harder for them to look at the system and themselves, because that system has given them everything. It's made them who they are. That artificial power that they wield in society is at your expense. And if you are saying that it's not real, what do they have now? They're losing their love. They're no longer lusting over themselves anymore. That time is gone and past already. So now all they have left is to fuck you over. And if they have to fuck themselves to fuck you over, then that's what they'll do. Which is why they are attacking you in your healing process. They are not the fox. They are not the wolf. They are all of the above. And they don't want to see it as that. So we are breaking out of that sex programming, that lust programming, that love programming. It's broken. It's always been broken. And we're breaking it down.